The purpose of this experiment is to be able to block this client from accessing the services found on the other side of the network, in this case from the internet. Note that when a client makes a request to connect to the MySQL, for example, the packet originating from this client is forwarded by the router to its respective destination. So that is called forward chain. In contrast, when the packet originates from the router itself and is forwarded to a specific destination, that is called an output chain. If a packet is destined to one of the addresses found in the router, that is then called an input chain. So, in this experiment, we will try to block MySQL client by blocking port 3360. Also, we would like to block any URL request containing the word Facebook. So that will effectively block your client from accessing this Facebook. And then last, we will block port number 80, which is actually the default port of www, and that will technically disable browsing, internet browsing in this client. Okay, so you're ready? Let's do it. Okay, now we're here with our Winbox open. Let's print the interfaces. Take note that this router is already configured based on the steps in module 1, wherein the wireless LAN 1 is connected to the internet via DHCP, and our laptop is connected to this Ethernet 2 with an IP address that was given as 192.168.100.2, and our router is the 100.1. Okay. Second is, let's take a look at the current IP addresses assigned to the two interfaces. So you have WLAN 1 and Ethernet 2 having this assigned IP address, 1.248 and 1.100. Note that you might not get the same IP address for your WLAN 1 basing on your DHCP server. And finally, before we start, I would like to check that my unit has internet connectivity. So pinging google.com yields a response. So I'm sure I am connected. And please make sure that you don't have other connections except from your Mikrotik router. Now we are ready to create our first rule, and that is to intercept any packet coming from any source that is forwarded to any destination which passes through port number 3306. Okay? So let's do it. Now let's create our first rule by blocking MySQL client access to port 3306. So to do that, you go to plus, general, you choose the forward chain, source and destination is anything. The protocol we will use here is TCP. If we could drag it down, it's TCP. The destination port is 3306. Make sure you have to fill this out, or else any port or any application will not be able to use the internet if it uses TCP. So we are very specific that we wanted to block only port number 3306. Then the out interface is WLAN 1. Our action is we will drop all of those packets whenever it passes through 3306. Apply, and then okay. Now let me bring out my client here, which is HiDSQL. Okay. And it's confirmed we cannot connect to MySQL server. Let's do that again, but let me disable this for the meantime. Disable, and then connect, just to prove that we could really connect. Okay, I was able to open my database. and it shows that I could connect. Let us block Facebook this time by checking the URL for any Facebook word that appears on the URL. To block Facebook or any site that you want, you are going to use the layer 7 protocols here. To go to layer 7 protocols, take note that layer 7 is application protocol. So we will create one regular expression. We'll call this as Facebook. Now let's make a regular expression something like this. This simply means that whenever there is a word facebook.com, whatever comes prior to this and after this word, that will be filtered. Okay, so let's hit apply and then okay, and then let's go again to our filter rules and do the same thing as we did with your MySQL. You go to general, the chain is forward, source and destination, whatever it is, the protocol is TCP. Okay, I think you can do it like that without, this is the default, and then out interface WLAN 1, and you go to advanced and choose as layer 7 protocol. So we only have one layer 7 protocol that was created, so this is Facebook. And last, our action will be to drop, hit apply, and then okay. Now let me bring out my browser and open Facebook. You can see the indicator there trying to load Facebook, and the site can't be reached. But what about other sites? Let's say YouTube. I can still open other sites, and all other usual sites that I am working with, I could still check on them. Okay, it's only Facebook that is being blocked. Now again, to show that it really works, let me disable this particular rule and go back to my site, and there you go. So I have my Facebook back. Okay, so let's go ahead and check our browser. So Facebook is still blocked. YouTube is okay. CNN is okay. So how is that? Why is it that other sites were still managed to load? The reason for that is some of these websites are bypassing the port number 80. So what we need to do is to add additional port, especially when they are using HTTPS. The default port for HTTPS is 443. Let's click apply and then okay. Then let's see. So some of this will be blocked eventually. Let's try CNN. Okay, CNN is now blocked. You see it's spinning continuously, and probably YouTube will still be able to load its content. Right. Okay, so that means for you to be able to effectively block a particular site, it requires additional rule that could be specific to that particular website. Okay, so that's it for our lesson, and good luck.